No, 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 no. Hello again, Null Element here, coming at you with another video for my Hardcore S-Rank series, and this time I thought I'd do the Darkfell Zelda fight. Again, as I play the Ranger class and I'm only just starting out in the game, a lot of the things that I have to say will be aimed at range classes. I will eventually make videos dedicated to melee, but for the moment I'll stick with what I'm leveling. This little step that I'm doing right here isn't something that you absolutely have to do, but as an ex-WoW player, it's just something that I've gotten used to doing. So yes, free pots are a thing. They don't last for very long, but they will give you a short boost at the start of the match. This S-Rank is time-based, and to be honest it's fairly easy to beat, but there are a few mechanics which may result in a wipe if you aren't paying attention and being careful. Your first opponents are Darkfell's hands, which have a couple of weak points. Their heads, knees, stomach core and tail core are all viable targets. Do note though that the heads and knees are covered by unarmored plate that must be stripped off first, and blight rounds won't create weak points unless this is done, so try not to spam blight rounds straight away until you've exposed some of these. The hands have a few different attacks. They can do a slam attack after hovering sideways over a spot. They can perform a charging attack that slams every couple of ticks for multiple hits. Sometimes they teleport above the platform before doing a dive attack telegraphed by a red circle on the floor. Also, Felzelda will periodically fire laser beams that sweep the platform. You can effectively avoid these by staying in the back half of the platform and keep moving. I've also seen the freezing orb attacks that will ice block you, but those ones are a little bit more rare, and if you're fast enough most likely won't happen. Their hands can also combine into a big hand centipede, human centipede, that can swipe, do slam attacks and zoom across the platform from side to side. If it happens, this is probably one of the harder mechanics to deal with in this fight, just because of the unpredictability. I'm sure that there is a pattern to how it does this, but I haven't figured it out yet. You can tell that this guy practices knuckling all day. The second form the hands can combine into is a big ball held up by a hand. If you target the hand on the bottom, it should launch them pretty quickly and they fall around the platform again, telegraphed with red circles. Priorities are to hit the weak spots as much as possible while remaining mobile. Sometimes if you're lucky you can pull off a satellite cannon or positron blast, but generally you can do more than enough DPS without doing so, and it will open you up to getting hit. If you want to do this, there are opportunities to get massive damage when heads from more than one hand are clustered together. And that, ladies and gentlebots, brings us to the next stage of the fight against the main body of Darkfell Zelda. Basically the whole idea in this fight is to damage the weak points behind the wrist on the hands. At the beginning there are 4 arms, and if you can take them out fast enough you can avoid taking a lot of damage, as the more arms Darkfell Zelda has, the more attacks you can use. The first phase is fairly simple, and depending on how you tackle it, fairly easy. Dodging the telegraphed attacks and using well-timed positron blasts can damage multiple arms, and is definitely worth trying if you can pull it off. I guess you could say the core mechanic here is actually dodging the attacks, because that gives you more time in order to be able to line up those shots on the weak points. The boss also uses a laser, which comes out. It does target where you're actually heading, so if you're running to the side, it will go off to the side, and you can just reverse direction and go the other way to dodge it. That said though, if you keep on moving in the same direction, you will most likely outrun it. This is one good example of having dodged the mechanic. I've got that shot lined up and ready to go. When the enemy boss is running low on hands, this is probably when you should start considering the PP usage, because coming up in the next phase you are going to want to basically have full PP. If you don't, it's going to be very difficult to dodge the mechanics in there. Depending on your class, mileage may vary, so you can attack the middle core, just to get that little bit of extra damage in, which will help out in the third phase. So what the boss will do, he'll cast 4 orbs at you, and if you have 4 movement CVs available to use, that's perfect. If you don't, this is what happens. So you get hit by one. Most likely, you're going to get KO'd as soon as the boss comes back, because especially on the 4th one, you're screwed. However, if you take the 3rd orb, then get hit by the 4th, you won't be quite dead, and you can essentially heal up and get out of there just before the attack happens. As you can see, I've used some healing there to get out of it. And then again, you just want to keep on attacking those weak points. And if you can do this, happy days, you'll easily clear the fight. Starting off in the third phase, you don't really need to worry too much about PP usage, so basically go ham. There are attacks which you can dodge. The laser will freeze you. If you get hit, it will break the freeze. You can jump arms as they're coming at you. You know when it's going to do a slam attack because it will grip the edge of the platform like that. I was cheeky and just decided to damage it some more. But yeah, it will get easier if you quickly take out the arms. Less arms means less mechanics to dodge, and you can get more damage off. And definitely keep up on the damage. You don't want to relax off on it. And as I said before, some of these attacks can be dodged entirely. I'm playing a little bit risky, so I've been taking a bit of damage, but like there's one just up here, for instance, where I actually jump it. Perfect. You know, it sets you up to shoot that weak point. The boss does telegraph when it's actually going to do that palm forward thing too, so if you watch him closely you can actually tell where they're going to come out. And another thing, if I haven't already said it, the S rank clear requirement for this is basically a speedrun, so you want to clear it as fast as possible. As easy as that. And that's another Hardcore series mission done. Another video as well. Again, shout out to all the YouTubers because I would not know how to play this game without your help. Yes, catch you next video. Have a good time. See ya.